lekubita ke ukuthi ke nathi simaSwati njengekukhonjwa indlela amakhosi Nkosi yelive sichubekeni silibeke live libe ngiloko lekungona lesibukhanzile nathi nalokungcono maSwati silibandla lelikhethwe nemingcele sisahalalisele amakhosi nelive ngandiphethe sijinga siphindze futhi siwabongele amakhosi ngemsebenzi losetulo eveke welikhetho sisitengcile tigaba tokuqala lebesikito nyalo ke sekuseleke sigaba lesisisetulu ke lokungisona sona ke lesisitawusiniketa iParliament yethu isinikete futhi emabandla enkundla lokuba ubuchopho ke lobakhiwa induna tetinkundla lekungibona bosihlalo 26 we special voting bese ulandzela ke mhla
It has just gone 8 o'clock Central African time. Good evening and welcome to the news bulletin at 8. Put your press Eswatini TV. I'm Sanabo Ngwane. I'm with Namakabiso and Kamboli. We're coming to you live from the Hospital Hill Studios in Babade for top stories at 8. Let's take a look.
The Prime Minister, Cleopas Dlamini, says the country can attain exponential economic growth if all sectors, including businesses and financial institutions, can support each other. The Minister of Labour and Social Security says dialogue in the workplace is a good recipe for harmony and positive economic gains. Sibongiseni Nxumalo walked away with a brand new car courtesy of Eswatini International Trade Fair 2023.
Hello again, and now for the news in detail. The Prime Minister, Cleopas Dlamini, says the country can attain exponential economic growth if all sectors, including businesses and financial institutions, can support each other. The Prime Minister was speaking during the official closing of this year's International Trade Fair, where he was represented by the Minister of Commerce, Industry and Trade, Mancoba Khumalo, and this year's trade fair was themed Endless Possibilities.
The Prime Minister's speech, as delivered by Minister Mancoba Khumalo, began by expressing words of gratitude to their Majesties for supporting the trade fair wholeheartedly. He said that this was evident in His Majesty King Mswati III's two-time visit to this year's event, which was the first in the history of the Eswatini International Trade Fair.
We have seen many companies exhibiting today, many contractors, many traders, many vendors, many financial institutions, many service providers, and what I liked the most as well was the number and quality of small, medium enterprises that had stands for the full 10 days on display. We also saw government services that were interacting with the private sector and understanding what people require from government and government agencies and state-owned enterprises. It was an amazing opportunity for business people.
The chairman of the Eswatini Investment Promotion Authority, Theo Hlope, who was represented by Samson Mdluli, applauds all those who made the event the success that it has been for a job well done.
I want, on behalf of IPA, to congratulate and thank all of you, our exhibitors, for the 10 days of business engagement in the Kingdom of Eswatini.
At the event, various companies and businesses were awarded for outstanding performance, and the Correctional Services Department walked away with 2 awards, whilst Iswade was the overall winner as per the adjudicator's decision. Reporting for Eswatini TV, Mbongwa Dube with Mpendulo Kumbi in Manzini.
The Minister of Labour and Social Security, Plaptelezi, says dialogue in the workplace is a good recipe for harmony and positive economic gains for both workers and employers. The Minister was speaking during the signing of the National Reconciliation Report between government and the apex body of some trade unions in the country to COSWA. Now, the signing ceremony was held at the Royal Villas in Eswatini.
Out of the 21 complaints raised with the International Labour Organization, 1 was withdrawn, 15 resolved and 5 are yet to be concluded.
We appeal that this should send a particular message to all our stakeholders to make effective and positive use of structures like CIMAC in an attempt to secure amicable settlement of their disputes. The Trade Union Congress of Eswatini and government stand here today to market the products of CIMAC, in particular conciliation and mediation. Let social dialogue prevail at the workplace. The ILO records will show that the Kingdom of Eswatini is amongst the first few countries, if not the very first country, to resort to this mechanism of optional voluntary conciliation at national level, as introduced by the CFA in March 2021.
The chairman of the panel of conciliators, Justice Sifiso Nsibande, commended all concerned parties for fully applying themselves during deliberations.
What we discovered was that it allowed the parties, the social partners, to actually discuss issues that arose for the first time between themselves.
The report shall be published for the public to read on a date to be decided by the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. Reporting for Eswatini TV, Mbongwa Dube, Ezulwini.
Sibongiseni Nxumalo walked away with a brand new car courtesy of the Eswatini International Trade Fair 2023. Nxumalo says the car will be helpful in his transport business because the one he was using had used man's government to for Maswati with an opportunity to have a trade fair which allows Maswati businesses to grow. Now, the car was presented by the Minister for Commerce, Industry and Trade, Mangaba Kumalo, as representative representing the Prime Minister.
The 2023 Eswatini International Trade Fair provided local businesses and foreign investors with an opportunity to showcase their products and innovative ideas. The trade fair also presented an opportunity for Maswati to win themselves different prizes. A lucky winner, Sibongiseni Nxumalo, is the 2023 winner of the brand new car, Kia Sonet. Sibongiseni Nxumalo says he will use the car as an additional vehicle in his transport business. Nxumalo says his business is around transporting school-going children. Nxumalo says before COVID-19, he used to purchase items from South Africa to sell. He says that he will continue with the business now.
Isabonga kakhulu Nkosi yami kuba Kia ngiphinze ngibonge kakhulu kuba se FNB ngiphinze ngibonge kakhulu kuba se West Bank kulo mhlomelo longaka Nkosi yami ngicabanga ukuthi nami iqinisweni lonke bengingakawulinzeli but nje ke uNkulunkulu asemazulwini ubonile ukuthi kufanele ukuthi ngingawuthola lona mhlomelo ngoba yena ubonile imisebenzi yami noma imithwalo yami lekhona ukuthi itangisidaphi.
Nxumalo thanked government and her partners with this opportunity. Nxumalo will also have a break from visiting a gas station as the car will be fueled for a year. For Eswatini TV News, Sondo Mlangeni, Mbongwa Dube, Manzini.
The Minister of Health had a chance to test and screen over 400 Maswati who came through the ministry stall at the Eswatini Trade Fair 2023. Now, according to the ministry's health promotion officer, Calvin Lamini, he says some people were screened diseases such as TB, HIV, and diabetes. Lamini says the ministry also had a chance to teach about wellness and health.
A number of ministries had a chance to interact with their clients during the 2023 Eswatini International Trade Fair. One of the ministries that brought services closer to the people without any fees was the Ministry of Health. Giving a report on how the ministry was able to interact with their clients, the Ministry of Health's promotion officer, Calvin Lamini, says the ministry stall was visited by over 100 people who donated blood. Over 20 people were able to test diabetes. Lamini says most people were able to test for TB and also screen for different cancers. Lamini says the ministry was pleased to see parents bringing in their children to vaccinate against the human papilloma virus. Lamini says the ministry was also able to treat a number of Maswati.
Estanding saka health kusukela nje mhla ka1 nayiqala ishow nasigcina
ukuthi ihlanganisa ngalesihlanu ngicabanga ukuthi kulabe bahlole eshukela bese singetulu kwa 200 kulabe banikele ngengadi bese singetulu kwa 100 wemaphayinti engadi lebesiwatholile kulaba hlolwe umlomo wemdlavuza wesibeletho nakhona bese singetulu kwabo 90 kanjalo nakubo HIV nabo TB cishe nje utonke inombolo tethu betisetulu kakhulu sijabula kakhulu ezweni.
The Ministry of Health continues to live up to its mandate of providing health services to Eswatini. This mandate is in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 3, which speaks to providing health services for all. Eswatini TV News, Sondomlangini, Themba Shabangu, Manzini.
In its drive to ensure that its reserves are adequately replenished, the National Blood Bank has casted its nets wide and forged a partnership with churches in order to receive blood donation from congregates. Now, the Blood Bank has visited the Our Lady of Assumption Cathedral in Manzini for a search for blood donors.
The Blood Bank encourages all Eswatini to donate blood on a continuous basis in order to help those who need it because of varying ailments in the country's hospitals. Musa Dlamini, who is a blood donor educator at the Blood Bank, says they are open to invitation by organizations where people can voluntarily donate blood.
But bese kuya ngalokho uya qualify njengoba nje sicala ku16 weminyaka siyekele ku65. Takhanza lo mnye umuntu osongetulu kwalo 65 but uyafuna ukudonate lo mnyeke emncane kunalo 16 kepha nayo uyafuna lokunikela ngenkani. Amabandla asibambisa sengukuthi ke nabasimema ukhanza ukuthi ngeke size sifike kibo bonke la ngalinye ngalokho thina lama team ethu asesemancanyana ngenombolo so ukuthatha ke nalamanye amabandla la sengase asimema wona ukuthi side kiwo side wa donate sangale kwaloko sive ngosiyami siyasibonga kakhulu ekuthenini ikakhulu emabandleni basibambisa kakhulu.
Dlamini further says as schools open for the third term, head teachers can invite the blood bank, but students due for external examinations are spared from donating blood at this time of the year. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, Mbongwa Dube in Manzini.
Despite the busy weekend that it was, the Royal Eswatini Police Services reported no fatal accidents linked to the weekend events. However, the Police Information and Communications Officer Pindile Vilagati says there were 2 deaths reported due to drowning.
Umsebenzi ke singathi ube mhle kakhulu kulandzela ukuthi kude tingoti lesitibalako letsinzana nalomsebenzi kude nebantfu labagcine babulalana siyathi sibe kunemagigi kunalokwa nalokwa kepha ke sive siphephile kude nempahla ke lelahlekile lenkulu ngaletikhathi leti siyathumisa kakhulu esiveni sibonge nakulabo lebesibambisene nabo sendlulisa nekubonga lokukhulu kubashayeli bemabhasi lebebalayishe imbali le ifike kahle emakhaya yonke siyathemba ukuthi siyachubeka sibambisana ngalendlela le kulandzela ukuthi seminingi imisebenzi yelive letako nakulomnyaka umuntu angabala ke digigaba letendeke nje ngaphandle kwalemisebenzi lele kufaka ekhathi bantfu lababili labacwilile sinagogo loneminyaka lengu70 locwilile endanse Big Band sibe nemfana lonetinyanga leting18 naye locwilile.
We had a busy weekend where a number of events were hosted in different parts of the country. We can report that there were no fatal accidents linked to these events. We commend Eswatini for that. However, there were reports from different regions as an 18-month-old infant drowned in a pond at Mhlaleni. We also have a 70-year-old woman who drowned and died while fishing using a net in the Great Eswatini River. We can take this opportunity to urge Eswatini to keep an eye, especially to children. We can also confirm that there was a 35-year-old man of Sudvogotvo who was heavily assaulted after being suspected that he raped a 15-year-old girl. We can also urge Eswatini to be on the lookout for a car that was forcefully taken from the owner with money amounting to 70,000 emalangeni and a loaded gun in Manzini.
Siyacela sive sisithinze ku7606 8570 7606 8570 lekungibaba ehlophe lobuke nizabade ekucala esifundzeni sakaManzini sichubeke nekwekhuta umoya wekuthatha impahla yesive ngendluzulu.
Right, we shift gears now into the world of business where we take a look at our financial indicators to get a sense of how markets fared today in a financial report.
Standard Bank. It can be.
Welcome back. We begin our sports roundup with Green Mamba being the eventual champions of this year's edition of the Trade Fair Cup. Now, Coach Ernest Mavuso and his captain Njabulo Twala walked away with the best coach and player of the series awards, respectively.
And in our sports roundup, we begin with the 2023 Trade Fair Cup, where Green Mamba were awarded as champions of this year's edition after defeating Bawona Solos by 6-0. Green Mamba head coach Ernest Mavuso was awarded as the best coach of the tournament.
Since it has treated one half separated from the other, because you never sure of the result in a game of football until and unless I've seen worse situations. It's about 2 minutes to change a game altogether. That's why we had to secure 2 goals in the second half. Otherwise, we didn't want to look like punishing Isolos. So we had to show that element of respect.
His captain, Njabulo Twala, who scored a hat-trick in the final, took the award of the best player of the tournament.
Because last season angikawashayi enough kepha sifiso sami ukuthi kule season ngende ngcono kunale season lesuka kiyo nalokuthi ke sitawuqhubeka sifake amandla i-team iqhubeke iwin.
Bawona Solos goalkeeper Qiniso Nyawo got the best goalkeeper of the tournament. Eswatini TV got the award of the best electronic media house of the tournament. Moving along to netball, Team Correctional, both men and women, were the eventual champions of this year's Trade Fair Cup, where women walk away with 5,000 Emalangeni after defeating Reps by 45-24. For the men correctional team side, walk away with 5,000 Emalangeni after winning by 49-39 against Reps. Reporting for Eswatini TV Sports, I'm Linda Dlamini, Mbabane.
With those sports news, we have hit the home stretch of the news bulletin at 8 at Eswatini TV. But before we go, here's a quick reminder of news-making headlines tonight.
The Prime Minister, Cleopas Dlamini, says the country can attain exponential economic growth if all sectors, including businesses and financial institutions, can support each other. The Minister of Labour and Social Security says dialogue in the workplace is a good recipe for harmony and positive economic gains. Sibongiseni Nxumalo walked away with a brand new car courtesy of Eswatini International Trade Fair 2023. Beautiful Kingdom of Eswatini, that's all we had for you from the news desk. We shall now cross over to the weather center for a detailed weather report from us and the rest of the team at Eswatini TV. For now, it's a good night and God bless.
egameni lelibandla letelkhetho nemingcele tinkundla ngingusihlalo walo libandla sihlanganyela